good fall.
What's going on? The water's going upriver.
Oh, that's right. You guys went to the brewery.
Yeah, we've been drinking all afternoon.
One of them even lands a spot.
But that's why it's called Minister's Island.
We're dairy farmers.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Have a good one.
So everybody, it's a really flat day, and if you go over today, it's your fault because the boats didn't let you down. The boats are pretty darn good. So relax. Also, the people in the back feel like they're the most important people in the world because they have the rudders, right? And you're like, if something happens to my feet, we all go down. It's the end of the world. So if they lose their foot pedal, they'll try and get on their own. They go like this and they get it, great. If you don't get it, don't go looking. And that's when people have typically gone over, is they go look, they'll pull their skirt and they'll go look to try and get it like that, and they've leaned over because the cockpit's a funny shape and you can't see unless you bend over like that. So there you go. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling. Let go.
Your rudder is closer now.
A little different paddling this. It's a lot closer to the water.
We're doing our walking the sea.
Yeah, so all the spots that will be paddling here, they'll be able to walk into it.
Oh, we're doing this tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Sentinel is right over here. Sentinel and ET are kind of in the race for who's gonna fall next. ET we went by way back there. And Sentinel is on duty, and if he's a guard on duty, and you see all these towers back here, you start to arrive at the name of the cove, which is an interesting name. It's a lot more creative than a lot of other coves. It's called Castle Rock Cove. Right? So it's an interesting name. And if this one's the next one to fall, that's pretty cool. Very soon it should fall.
On the boat.
Oh.
Yeah, they're kind of like mediocre skirts. They'll get a little bit of water on them. 15, 20, 16, all of that fell off.
And guess how many little yellow danger signs were there?
None.
0. Not one. Biggest rock fall of the century at least. And all that fell down. Foot tides. Next week we'll be brushing those branches easily. We'll be watching those branches that are on the trees up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Low tide is in about 20 minutes. So that's really good because that means we can walk basically wherever we want to walk and the tide is not in the way. That's good. The conditions that we're going to walk on are kind of gravelly, sandy for the most part. It's, to my standards, it's actually pretty clean down there today, not too much mud. We have huge numbers of a shorebird called a semi-palmated sandpiper. So they're just little things. Semi-palmated just means their feet are partially webbed. They have like 3 little toes, and the webbing will just go halfway down the length of the toe. So not like a duck where it's completely webbed. So what they do is they come down here. Any given bird is usually here 2 or 3 weeks. When they land, they're 14 grams, and in that time that they're here, they double their body weight, pick up and fly non-stop to South America from here. So it's a...
This is where we launched our kayaks right here, and then we went that way. We didn't go this way. Everything was that way. Yeah, we kayaked in here last night. We kayaked right up in there. Yeah.
But you can imagine how, as that tide comes in from the Atlantic Ocean, huge volumes of water have only one place to go. As it gets squeezed into an area that becomes progressively more and more narrow, more and more shallow, it's only got one place to go, which is up, right? So when you look for a time-lapse of the tides at the rocks, is 1 year they got these 3 interpreters to stand at the water's edge, and they stood in these cement flip-flop things so they wouldn't float away, and they took a time-lapse video. And if you find the right video, you'll see on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a little clock. So in the video you see the water creep up their legs, creep up their belly, their chest, and up to their chin. When they get to their chin, of course, they get out of the water. And that whole thing just took 28 minutes.
That's my retirement. Yeah.
is the 16th of August, and on this date back in 1977, we lost a great singer. Can anybody remember who that might be? August the 16th, 1977. Elvis Presley, correct. Now, those songs in those late 50s and early 60s, they were before my time. Oh my goodness, it's much clearer here today than what it was 2 weeks ago. Oh, we have something known as FOG. And here, can you hear me back there? What?
Except Bill. He can't hear it.
Over there is what appears to be a white building on the hill over there. Well, it's under construction, right? Or renovation. That's what it's under. That is a Martello Tower. Okay? Martello Tower, its responsibility during the War of 1812 was to be on the outlook for a land invasion. The land. Martello Tower, ladies and gentlemen, it was used also in World War I, World War II, and during the Fenian raids of the late 1800s. But there was never, ever a shot fired from that fort. Leave the stand. Look, there's hardly the leaves are not even moving. All right. So what we have here is the St. John River. Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy is to our left. Okay? The Bay of Fundy is to our left. Down underneath the bridge, out into the harbor, and out into the Bay of Fundy. So it's to the left. Upriver is to the right. It's not an optical illusion, folks. All right? Upriver, downriver. And you'll say, what's going on? The water's going upriver. Right? High tide was at 9:37 local time. So let's say at 1/2 hour ago. The height of the tide was 22 feet. 22 feet. Low tide this afternoon will be at 15 or 3:46. 3:46. Remember now, I said high tide, it was 22 feet. Low tide is at 6 feet. So right now, we're at 9:37. The Bay of Fundy would have reached its highest point. And in doing so, it is higher than the water level in the river. Thus, the water is flowing from the Bay of Fundy up into the river system. This is what goes on. And then this water will start slowing down as it goes towards the low tide. Midway point, folks, that water will be still. Great question. Great question.
Where's CZ Tom?
So, oh, that's right. You guys went to the brewery.
Yeah, we've been drinking all afternoon.
of the restoration project, but it's the most intense. So you can't even see the tower now. It's under wraps, literally. But in the meantime, we have this video that will explain the tower's story to you all. And the tower was first built for the war. It's 10 minutes long. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you very shortly.
Hi everyone, my name's George. Welcome to Carlton Martello Tower. Now, follow me inside, see for yourself. Over 200 years ago, British warships fought against a tower similar to this one in Corsica. A tower like this one is pretty straightforward. It's your basic thick circular masonry wall, 10 meters high, that's about 30 feet, with a central pillar and vaulted ceiling. It has a powder magazine, quarters for 24 men and a few officers, and storage space for food and water. Everything you need to resist an enemy attack. 66, the tower's roof is fitted with two 32-pounder guns. The tower stands armed and ready for action in case of an attack by Fenians. But by now, the tower faces another challenge. Because of new technology, it becomes obsolete as a defensive structure. Take a look. When Canada enters the First World War, the Martello Tower is pressed into service once again. This time as a detention center for men of the 69th Canadian Infantry Battalion who misbehave while they're in St. John, awaiting transport to Europe. In addition to keeping an eye on the ships entering the busy port, the men at the tower stand ready to coordinate fire from our 4 coastal batteries in the event of an enemy attack. Now, no enemy ships ever get this far, but German U-boats do. One of them even lands a spy. Like all National Historic Sites, Carlton Martello Tower has been a witness to history. Places like these allow us to imagine the people and events of our past, and ultimately encourage us to discover a little something about ourselves.
Living on the island in the summer, and in the winter they stayed on the mainland because it was a little bit warmer. After that, in the 1790s, the Loyalists came to town. The Loyalists came up from the New England states, And a lot of them there dismantled their homes, loaded them onto a barge, brought them up and rebuilt their house in St. Andrews. But with them they brought an Anglican minister, Reverend Samuel Andrews. He decided not to build in the town of St. Andrews. He built his house over here on the island. So when you pass the barn, there was a little building there with an orange tarp over it. That is his house. That was built 200 years ago. But that's why it's called Minister's Island. It's named after him.
into oceans. You set the galaxies in motion. You see the magic in a single flake of snow. You turn the sidewalk cracks to canyons. You are a fire-breathing dragon. You follow treasure maps into the wild unknown. I wanna go with you. I wanna go with you on a grand adventure. I'm along for the ride, and I feel it all again for the very first time on a grand adventure with you by my side. 'Cause I love to see the world through your eyes. You turn a moment to a memory. You are the medicine that God knows I need. I'm better every day I get to spend with you. You sing a song and I will listen. We'll make a dance floor in the kitchen. I can't believe the way your laughter fills the room with you.
What happened to your pants?
Everybody want to see my legs. So I pulled them off.
Not everybody.
Okay, almost everybody.
Our adventure started June 20th in a Montreal sauna with excessive heat warnings and uncomfortable humidity. The city on a rainy, windy day. Our guide Roger showed us many sights during our 2 tours there. I remember lunch at the Chateau Frontenac and the Montmorency Falls. We left the big cities and hit the road to Grand Matisse, where we toured Rayford Gardens.
Well, it probably won't work now.
Come on, everybody!
You're like Taylor Swift. With you by my side. 'Cause I love to see the world through your eyes.
Lobster and beer.
Cold beer.
Similar to how
Yep.
fishing, Sophia.
Hi, Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
They get so much force from the tail.
Are you Mary Poppins?